Every gilded cage is built with walls of comfort. The only question is what you're paying for them.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the hidden systems that are designed to influence your daily life, from what you buy all the way to what you believe. We're going to explore what's called the architecture of control. So, let's just start with a question that might stick with you for a while. How many of your thoughts, your beliefs, your deep-seated desires are actually truly yours? And maybe more importantly, how would you even know? This idea isn't some new age conspiracy theory. It's almost 100 years old. Edward Bernays wrote this back in 1928, and he wasn't some fringe thinker. He was literally known as the father of public relations. He was openly describing a blueprint for what he called an invisible government, one designed to steer the public mind. Okay, so to really get a grip on this architecture, we have to meet the people who drew up the blueprints. We need to look at their core concept, which they called the engineering of consent. Engineering of consent, that was Bernays' big phrase. Now, he was influenced by his famous uncle, Sigmund Freud, and he saw the public not as a collection of rational individuals, but as an irrational herd that was driven by unconscious desires. He argued that a smart, unseen elite could, and really should, guide this herd by tapping into those emotions and using powerful symbols. And just like that, he took the sinister-sounding word propaganda and gave it a friendly corporate makeover: public relations. And the tools for doing this? Well, they have evolved dramatically. What started back in the 1920s as just a theory of persuasion, it got way more hands-on in the 1950s with the CIA's pretty disturbing MK-Ultra experiments. Then by the 1990s, the world of commerce jumped in, filing patents to literally use brain scans to predict what you'll buy. And now, today, you have government projects aiming to map and even manipulate neural activity itself. You see the trend here, right? It's a clear journey from public suggestion to direct biological intervention. But here's the thing. For this kind of control to be truly effective, it has to start early. It needs to be woven into the fabric of the very institutions that are supposed to shape us. And that starts with our schools. So when you look at mass schooling, you see this glaring conflict. The official goal, what we're told it's for, is to create critical, independent thinkers. But many critics point to a hidden curriculum, a system really designed to condition obedience, respect for authority, and conformity. Essentially, to produce a manageable workforce. And if that sounds a little cynical, well, it wasn't a secret. It was the explicit goal. Johann Fichte, who was a key thinker behind the Prussian education model, a model that influenced schools all over the world, he said it right out loud: education should aim to destroy free will. The whole purpose was to create citizens who were literally incapable of acting against what they were told was normal. This was social engineering from the ground up. And this leads to something the philosopher Michel Foucault called docile bodies. Through all these subtle pressures, like constant testing, grading, the need to fit in, these institutions train us to discipline ourselves. We learn to conform without anyone having to force us. We become predictable, manageable. We become our own security guards. Okay, so now, take those 100-year-old ideas of control and pour some rocket fuel on them. That's what modern technology did. Welcome to the digital panopticon. The original panopticon was a prison design where inmates could be watched at any time, so they just started policing their own behavior constantly. Sound familiar? Today, we carry that prison in our pockets. Big tech has built this incredibly powerful engine called surveillance capitalism. It's a cycle. It starts by collecting massive amounts of your data, every click, every like, every place you go. Then, AI models use that data to make scarily accurate predictions about what you'll do next. Then comes the manipulation. It serves you content designed to nudge your behavior. And finally, all of that is turned into profit by selling your attention and your predicted future to the highest bidder. And this engine runs on a simple but brutally effective 4-step playbook. First, it hijacks your emotions, pushing whatever sensational, polarizing content gets the biggest reaction. Second, it traps you in dopamine loops with addictive features like infinite scroll. Third, it builds you your very own filter bubble, a personalized reality that just reinforces everything you already believe. And finally, the illusion of truth. It repeats confident lies over and over until they just feel more true than a complicated, hesitant truth. So, why is all this so effective? Well, because this entire architecture isn't random. It's purpose-built to exploit the back doors of human psychology, all those hidden scripts that are running in our minds. Let's look at a really subtle one, the kindness trap. We're taught that being kind means being agreeable, not making waves. But is that really kindness? True kindness has boundaries, it's honest. What we're often praising as kindness is actually just compliance. It's a fear of confrontation that's been dressed up to look like a virtue. And that leads to a pretty chilling thought. Maybe they didn't love you, they just loved your compliance. This one right here is a huge psychological weakness. Our brains are wired to take shortcuts, and one of them is called the confidence heuristic. We just automatically assume that someone who sounds really assertive must know what they're talking about. It's an old instinct that's now weaponized against us. A salesperson, a politician, an influencer, they don't have to be right. They just have to sound sure, and our brains are wired to follow. And what about flattery? We fall for it, and not because we're gullible, but because we're human. We all have this deep, deep longing to just be seen and recognized. And manipulators know this. They'll praise you for your selflessness right before they ask you to cross a boundary for them. That little bit of praise, it softens you up, because for just a second, it feels really good to be seen that way. Now this is a question to really sit with for a minute. These systems, they can train us to feel guilty for things that aren't actually wrong, like setting a boundary, or saying no, or putting our own needs first. That trained guilt, it's like a leash. It keeps us quiet, it keeps us compliant, always putting someone else's comfort ahead of our own truth. And finally, we get to the master switch, the fear of rejection. This is an ancient survival instinct. Back in the day, being cast out from the tribe meant certain death. That deep primal terror is still rattling around inside us. It's why we stay silent in meetings, why we laugh at jokes that aren't funny, why we just nod along. It's the silent pressure that allows lies to become group consensus, not through force, but through our own deep fear of standing alone. Okay. Seeing this architecture, it can feel pretty overwhelming, right? But seeing it is the first and most critical step. So the next question is, how do we fight back? How do we build a mental firewall and start reclaiming our personal sovereignty? Here's a powerful, practical tool you can start using literally today. It's called the SIFT method. Before you believe or share anything you see online, just sift it. First, just stop. Take a breath. Then, investigate the source. Who's telling you this? Next, find better or original coverage. And finally, trace the claim back to where it originally came from. It's a simple little habit that acts as an incredibly powerful filter. But it's not just about playing defense. This is about building what you could call a sovereign pathway. It means shifting from being a passive consumer of reality to an active co-creator. It means cultivating your own self-awareness. It means understanding the systems that are affecting you. And it means becoming the author of your own story, not just a character in someone else's. So we'll leave you with this last thought. We've just walked through this massive, often invisible architecture of control, from old-school propaganda to algorithms to the hidden scripts running in our own minds. The question is, now that you can see it, who is your architect?